Back in 1954, there was a man named Wright. He was actually dying of cancer. Not slowly, but rapidly. His lymph nodes were the size of oranges. His lungs were filling up with fluid, and doctors gave him only days to live. But Wright heard about this experimental drug called cryobiosin. It wasn't approved and it wasn't proven, but Wright really believed in it. Like, really believed it. And he begged his doctor to give it to him. Now, the doctor didn't think it would work, but eventually, just to ease Wright's mind, he agreed. Now, what happened next, no one saw coming. Within 24 hours, Wright's tumors began to shrink. His fever dropped. 3 days later, he was out of bed. He was just talking to nurses, walking around. And 2 weeks later, he was discharged. He was cancer-free, and everyone was baffled. And the only thing that they could actually point to was Wright's belief, because he didn't just hope to recover, he fully expected. But here's where it gets even crazier. A few months later, the media reported that cryobiosin didn't work, and Wright read those headlines, and just like that, his cancer was back. So his doctor, maybe out of curiosity, maybe out of desperation, decided to try something. He told Wright that the earlier version had been a bad batch, and that he now had access to a new high-quality version of the drug. In reality, it was just saline, just basically salt water. Wright believed it was the real deal, and just like that, his tumors vanished once again. Wright believed it was the real deal, and again, his tumors vanished, until the final blow came. Another article was published. Definitive. Cryobiosin was a total failure. His belief that any sort of drug could help him was totally gone, and within days, he passed away. Not from the drug, not from the cancer really, but the death of expectation. Wright's story isn't just about medicine, it's about the undeniable power of your mind, and more specifically, your expectation. Expectation shapes your reality far more than you realize. What you truly expect, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, commands your mind, your actions, and even the outcomes you experience. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how this works and why nothing stands between you and your highest good but doubt and fear. Now, before we even get into the law of expectation, we first have to clear the way for the most poisonous emotion in the human spirit: fear. Fear is the silent killer of all your dreams, the invisible barrier between you and your highest good. If you do not deal with fear first, no amount of positive thinking or expectation will get you anywhere. Now, you have to realize that expectation is not hoping or wishing. What it really is placing an order with the universe and fully believing it's on the way. But fear is expectation flipped upside down. It's expecting the worst, and that negative expectation creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Fear is your mind preparing for the absolute worst. It hijacks your energy, it keeps you in survival mode, it keeps you always on edge and always bracing for disaster. Every ounce of strength, focus, and power gets drained into this what-if loop. Your mind is stuck rehearsing failure instead of executing on success. You stop wasting time on invisible enemies. Suddenly, all that mental power is freed up. You can move faster, think clearer, and act with the full force of your potential. That's when you stop surviving and actually turn into someone that is thriving. Fear keeps you small, but removing it unlocks your true strength. Now, let me be clear. Fear isn't always your enemy. Sometimes fear is a natural sign that your body is just trying to protect you. Imagine walking alone late at night, maybe it's 3 a.m., and you're walking in this abandoned place. It would be natural for you to feel fear. It's your body's way of warning you to stay alert, to be cautious. That kind of fear is useful. The problem isn't feeling fear. The problem is letting fear become your expectation, your default mindset about how life should unfold. Now, the law of expectancy refers to the principle that what one expects with confidence tends to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. That means our expectations, whether positive or negative, and the outcomes we experience. So here's a fundamental truth. Whatever image we hold deeply and consistently in our mind has to show up in real life. Your mind and life are mirrors. What you see on the inside reflects on the outside. If you keep expecting struggle, your world is just gonna keep delivering struggle. But if you deeply expect success, peace, and abundance, those are the outcomes you start to attract. This isn't magic. This is just how our brains work. For example, if someone fears losing their job, that fear can motivate real action, preparation, and protection. But if that fear becomes a story that they live by, expecting only bad outcomes, they shut down possibilities and peace. When I started this YouTube channel, I wasn't always consistent. Sometimes I would go weeks without making any videos. The reason why was because I was scared. I was scared that I didn't have anything valuable to share, or I didn't have what it takes. I was scared that no one would watch, no one would listen. So I just procrastinated and I let that fear just freeze me. But I remember back to when I first started, my vision was so clear. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And at that time, I didn't have any sort of fear blocks. I just knew what I wanted to have happen. That clarity gave me energy and conviction to keep going and keep producing videos. I worked harder, I made more videos, and I believed in the value that I brought. But once I started having that fear, I froze. And like I said, fear steals your strength by making you rehearse failure instead of success. When you remove that fear, you unlock the power to create the life that you actually want. The Law of Expectation teaches you that your beliefs and expectations shapes what you get and what you receive. But it doesn't mean ignoring real challenges or danger. It means believing in your highest good. It means expecting positive outcomes. And at the same time, take wise and realistic action. Think about the times that you hesitate, when that tight knot of worry creeps in. Maybe it's the fear that your efforts won't be enough. Maybe it's the fear that your efforts won't be enough. Or the silent voice that's always asking, what happens if I fail? You might be carrying doubts about your strength, even though the path ahead of you calls for boldness. And those doubts, they quietly shape your steps, and they steer you away from the path that you actually want to live. Now think about it like this. Let's say we have one plane, and it's going towards Los Angeles. Now, if that plane steers only 1 degree to the right, eventually it's not going to go to Los Angeles, it's going to go somewhere else. Now, if you have compounding steps to a direction, you want to make sure that it's the right direction. Why would you let fear take you to the wrong direction? It's in the smallest moments where your deepest beliefs reveal themselves, whether you're stepping into your highest good or just retreating into fear again. Fear as a tool to prepare is necessary and smart, but fear as a prison, that mindset stops you from growing, and ultimately it stops you from living your highest good. Now, I want to give you a 4-step process to actually identify and stop fear from controlling you so that you can actually expect positive outcomes. Now, the first step is to actually spot negative expectations. Really figure out what you fear right now, and then catch yourself rehearsing that failure. You need to be consciously aware of the thoughts that are going on in your mind every single day, because the more you think the same thoughts of failure, the more impressed they're going to be on your subconscious. And then consciously choose a new expectation. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I were to succeed here? And then once you identify what it would look like if you were to succeed, back that up with even the smallest, boldest action you can take right now, even if you don't feel ready yet. But that's all for this video. If you found this informative and you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you click subscribe down below. It would really help out the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.